Hello, brats! I am back. Yes, I quite like being the narrator for this channel, so expect to see my face regularly, appearing here again and again. As always. If you wish to make me and Ain happy, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel, and the main channel as well. Your support is appreciated. Thank you.
僕たちの物語を。
Toji Fushiguro wasn't a man who was easily shaken. He faced death, stared down sorcerers who thought they were gods, survived things that no normal man should have. However, this tiny, fragile, pink-faced little thing in his arms, this scared the hell out of him. You're exhausted. Your eyes are heavy with sleep, but you refuse to let them close. Not when Toji sits there, completely still. He is staring at the newborn in his arms as if he is holding a time bomb. A ticking time bomb. His thumb brushes gently and almost absently against the baby's cheek, as if he's trying to test whether or not this is real. The baby stirs slightly and scrunches its tiny nose. As for Toji, he immediately tensed. Sukuna, the king of Curseds, had never cared for mortals, not to mention imagine himself fathering one. Yet here he was, holding a tiny, helpless child, his child. And for the first time in his existence, he's rendered completely speechless. The baby stirred, a soft little whimper escaping its lips. Then, finally, Sukuna moves. With a slow and deliberate motion, he reaches out, scooping up the infant. He cradles the child in his large, clawed hands, a thing much smaller than anything else he had ever held before. Fragile and breakable. Without thinking, he offers his finger. The baby's hand immediately takes it, gripping with everything it has. Tiny, warm, and very much alive. The tiny thing shifted. The thing nuzzles against his chest. It is settling in. The king of curses, the harbinger of death, the most feared being to ever walk this earth. And yet, he is nothing more than a man holding his child. He is just a father. Choso had always been a brother first, a protector, a guardian. He had spent his life keeping his siblings safe, shielding them from harm, only to lose them all. But now he has something new to protect. Someone small, someone fragile, someone all his. And for the first time in his existence, He wasn't just a brother. No, he was a father. Choso's hands tremble a little as he holds the baby close to his chest. His breathing is uneven. His eyes are locked onto the tiny bundle. It is as if he is afraid that in the moment he looks away, the bundle will disappear. He swallows hard. His free hand hesitates above the baby's tiny finger, before gently brushing against them. The baby's small hand twitches, grasping onto Choso's finger instinctively. And then the baby makes a tiny sound. A sound that makes Choso freeze. You suppress a chuckle as you felt him stiffen against you. The room falls into a heavy silence, unbroken by anything except the soft beep of the machines and the gentle rustle of the blankets. Your body aches with fatigue from the ordeal of childbirth, but in that moment, all of those physical discomforts fade into the background as your gaze falls upon him, standing motionless near the bassinet. A wave of realization washes over you. This moment isn't just yours. It belongs to him too. Nanami stands frozen, his broad shoulders tense. He stares at the tiny bundle wrapped up in a cream-colored blanket, and he is hesitant. His hands, so steady in battle, now hesitate, being unsure of how to reach for something so delicate. His hand, the hands that fought, protected, endured, with a tenderness you had never seen before, he lifted the baby into his arms. In the moment that he felt his son's warmth against his chest, something in his expression shifts. Geto Suguru, your husband, your love, stands motionless near the bassinet, staring down at the tiny, wrapped-up bundle inside. His expression was unreadable. However, you could see it in the way his fingers twitch at his sides. You saw how he swallowed hard. You shift slightly. Reaching down into the bassinet, you carefully raised your daughter into your arms. She shifts slightly. She makes a tiny sound. As for Geto, he stiffens, with his grip on your hand tightening. With her tiny mouth opening, forming a yawn before she settles back into sleep. Geto watches the baby, completely mesmerized. His fingers brush over the baby's cheek, barely touching her, as if he is afraid that if he touches her fully, she will disappear into thin air. The hospital room is quiet, bathed in the soft, gentle glow of the evening light, with its soft, golden hues filtering through the blinds. The exhaustion that your body feels is overwhelming, overwhelming indeed. However, the warmth which you feel is stronger than the exhaustion. Your gaze flickers to the side, where Yuta stands, stiff as a board, staring down at the tiny bundle that is placed in the nurse's arm. The world surrounding you disappears as Yuta stares down at his newborn son. His breath is shaky, his lips slightly parted in stunned awe. His arm tightens instinctively. His body cradles the tiny boy against his chest, almost as if he is afraid that the baby will break if he doesn't. The baby stirs. A tiny hand is peeking out of the blanket. The little fingers curl as if trying to grasp at something. Anything. Yuta exhales. His shoulders sag slightly in relief. Then, his gaze softens, and he leans down. He presses a feather-light kiss. The hospital room is quiet. The only sound that fills the room is the faint beeping of the monitor and the soft breathing of the tiny newborn. You are exhausted, yes, and also contented. You watch as Toge Inumaki stands beside the hospital bed, frozen completely. The gaze he has, a mixture of awe and fear, is fixed upon the tiny bundle which the nurse is holding. His eyes are filled with unspoken emotion. They drop to the tiny face. The face is peeking out from a blanket. The baby stirs slightly. The sound the baby makes him visibly tense. Then, hesitantly, he adjusts his hold on the baby, because he thinks he would break something that is so small, so delicate. He hesitates, shifting his hand and letting the newborn's tiny fingers curl even more tightly with his own. His thumb brushes over the newborn's soft knuckles. His expression is unreadable. It is raw. It is overwhelmed. It's vulnerable. The hospital room is quiet. The room is filled with the faint beeping of the machines. The faint rustle of fabric is a sound that occasionally reaches your ears. You are exhausted and glowing. Resting against the pillows, you watch Yuji, who stands near the bassinet. He is frozen in place. Yuji's hand hovers in an awkward manner above the tiny bundle. This bundle is wrapped in soft fabric. His breathing is uneven. He's been staring intently at your newborn, and it is like it's almost a solid minute. He looks like he is afraid about touching him. He looks as if touching him will break reality. The hospital room is quiet. It is very quiet. The gentle, soft glow of the sun filtering through the curtains. You're resting on the bed. With the exhaustion being evident in your face, your eyes are fixed right on Megumi. He stands near the bassinet. There's also no movements. He is staring down at the tiny bundle inside. The hospital room is very bright. However, for once, Satoru Gojo is not the loudest sound in it. He is silent, unusually so. He stands beside you. He stares down at the tiny newborn baby. The baby is being cradled within your arms. No response. His sunglasses have been pushed on top of his head. His usually confident smirk is nowhere to be found. His bright, beautiful eyes are locked onto the baby. It is as if he is staring at something he just can't really understand. For once, he isn't making a joke. He is careful, very careful, almost in a reverent manner, as he is sliding his hands beneath the baby. When it is settled in his arms properly, his expression shifts. His usual confidence is gone. His face gets replaced with something more vulnerable.